This is always one of my favorite times of the year because I get to hear from so many people who are just about to come into the Catholic Church. What an exciting time. And one of the things I get to do that I'm so thankful for is talk with so many people who are on that journey. They're ready to come into the church. They're in RCIA or they're thinking about it and they're considering it. And a lot of times I'll have conversations with somebody and I'll never hear from them again. Maybe they have a couple questions they just want to talk through a little bit, and that's fine. Other times I wind up sort of playing a little bit more of a role in that, helping them as they walk through their coming into the church. And what's fun for me is when I get messages from people who say, hey, remember that time we talked 2 or 3 years ago? I'm coming into the church and I'm so excited. The joy that people experience when they become Catholic, it's so different than what I've ever seen in my life before joining a different type of church. People have worked so hard. They've done so much. They've experienced such a complete, powerful experience of grace, and they just want to shout it from the rooftops. They're so excited. So let me be the first to tell you this: welcome home. And I know that might seem kind of cheesy because you're going to hear it a lot, but I have to say it because that's exactly what's going on here, and I'm so thankful. And what I'd like to share with you today are just a few tips for your first year, things as you're coming into the church to help you not just survive that first year, but to thrive in it. And there's many more than what I'm going to share today. So by the way, if you have other tips for these new converts coming in, list them in the comments because I'm sure I'm not covering everything. These are just a few things that are at the tip of my mind right now. The first one is this: go all in. Now, I love the parable in Matthew 13 where Jesus says that the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field, that a man went out and he sold all he had to buy the field, and then in his joy, he digs up the treasure. To me, that's a lot like what becoming Catholic feels like. You've done all this stuff to sell everything you own to come into the possession of the field, and now you're digging up the treasure in your joy. That treasure is the kingdom of heaven, right? That's the church. And my advice to you is to go all in. You've worked so hard to get here. You've done so much. Don't just kind of get to this point and then go, all right, I've done it. I'm done. Ding the bell, walk away. Check the box. No, look at everything that you've gone through. Now is the time to go all in, to experience everything that the Lord has for you. Don't hold yourself back. Okay, this is just the beginning. So now you've purchased the field. You've got to dig that up and open it and work your way through it. So let's talk about what that looks like. Something practical. Number 2 is this: center your life according to the liturgical calendar. That might sound kind of weird, but many of us grew up in faith traditions where we didn't really have a liturgical calendar. We had Christmas and Easter and maybe some kind of Lent. But when you become Catholic, there's a lot more going on with the liturgical calendar. And let me tell you why I think that's so important. The calendar helps us to journey through together the life of faith, meditating, worshiping, and focusing on aspects of the life of Christ and the church. And when we let that become the driving force of our faith, we got to remember all of these things are given to us for a reason. Now, you might not be able to get to Mass every day, but what you can do to help stay plugged into the liturgical calendar is at least go through the readings every day so that you can see what the church gives to you. That's going to help you to experience the fullness of what it means to be Catholic and to walk through this journey together with all the Catholics in the world who are walking through this stuff together. Let that be the center of your life, not just something that you kind of have to go, oh, wait a minute, why did they change the colors up on the altar? I'm telling you, that's going to help you a ton as you jump in this year. Number 3, don't burn out. Now that might seem strange. I was just like, go all in. Now I'm saying don't burn out. Here's the thing. Being Catholic is like going to a gourmet restaurant to have a 7-course meal. What you're going to experience is going to be incredible. And there's a lot of it, but they don't bring it to you all at once. It's a 7-course meal, not a 1-course meal with a giant plate where they tell you you've got 5 minutes to work your way through all of this stuff. When you become a Catholic, you're walking into the best restaurant ever, and you're going to be served all this amazing stuff, and you're going to want to taste all of it. but you don't have to do it all at once. And that's where burnout comes in. I remember what it was like for me my first year. I wanted to do all the things right now. And quickly I learned that I couldn't do that. Now, when you get burned out, it's not because you had too much. It's because you had too much too fast. So recognize this. You've got your whole life to work through all of the treasure that's there in that treasure chest for you. And you will. But just don't feel like you have to do it all at once, right? Go slowly. Savor everything that you find there in that treasure. And one of the ways that you can do that practically is when you come up against something that you're doing that's part of the tradition of the church, part of our faith experience, and you don't understand what it means or what it's for, just stop and ask a question or do some research, figure it out. You're going to get burned out if you just like scarf that food down, but you never take time to taste it because then you don't know why it's there. Instead, experience every aspect of it. So that might be something that you encounter in the Mass. It might be something that you encounter in a reading of a document of a council, whatever it might be, something a saint says. When you come across something that you don't quite understand, take the time to learn the why behind the what. And that's going to slow you down to a healthy pace anyway. So that way, everything that you're experiencing, you are understanding and receiving the nutrients of it. Okay. You can tell I'm fasting. Today's Good Friday because I'm thinking a lot about food. So that's where all this food analogy is coming in. Anyway, my friends, don't burn out. All right. The next one is this. Find your tribe. What I mean by when I say tribe are the people that you're going to walk through this faith journey with, because you can't do it alone. You're not supposed to do it alone. You're going to have other people around you. Maybe you have some because of your RCIA experience already, or maybe your RCIA experience was a disaster and you became Catholic despite it, rather because of it. Either way, you've got to have those people around you. Now, I will just give you this practically. Don't decide who they have to be before God brings them into your life. What I mean is this. Let's say you're 25 years old and you say, well, I need to have a tribe. Therefore, I can only have other 25-year-old people in my life to help me with that. No. Friends, the people that God wants to bring into your life to help you grow in your faith are going to be people that aren't exactly like you. That's kind of the point. There's this principle of mentoring and learning from someone who's more seasoned than you, who's had the experiences you're having. Friends, we don't always learn the most from people that are just like us. And we can't always experience the greatest relationships from people just like us. We're going to need some of that. But sometimes the people God wants to use in your life to help you aren't your peers. They're people who can give you a different type of wisdom. But nevertheless, you're going to need to find them. So have eyes wide open. Ask the Lord, hey, bring me to some people that I can be mentored by and can walk through the highs and the lows of this first year with, because you're going to have both. All right. And the last one is this. Decide to be joyful. Remember, you can't tell yourself how to feel, but joy isn't necessarily contained to a feeling. Joy is about focus. It's about a mindset. And when you become Catholic, what you're going to find is true in a lot of things in life. Whatever you're looking for, you will find. And there will be people in the church that you will come across who what they look for is things that aren't consistent with joy. They look for things that make them angry. They look for ways to divide themselves from other people. They look for things to be frustrated about. They look for things to get upset about. And then you're going to find other people who look for things that are helpful to them. Look for things that are going to bring them joy and help them in holiness and help them be excited about the faith. Be like that. Because here's the thing. Both things are true in the Catholic Church. You can find them both. You can find plenty of things that will discourage you, frustrate you, and make you angry, and may even make you want to leave the church. And you can also find incredible beauty, incredible holiness, incredible help, and joy. And you're going to have to make the decision which things you're going to be looking for, because you're going to find whatever you're looking for. And my advice to you, especially in the beginning, is to decide and discern, hey, I only want to focus on things that are going to help me in my Catholic faith, help me grow in holiness and joy and love and the fruitful experience. I want to do that. I don't want to waste my time looking for all of the dirt and all of the evil and all of the failure. Friends, they're both there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're going to find what you're looking for. The question is, what are you looking for? My advice to you in your first year in the church, and probably even beyond that, is to be a person filled with joy because you're Catholic. Too many people are Catholic and miserable. That's not what the world needs to see, my friends. The world needs to see people who are full of truth, joy, devotion, and love. And you can find those things in the church that are going to help you get there, but you've got to decide that's what you're looking for. Again, I know this list is not very comprehensive. It's just what's on my mind at the moment right here. And again, I'm so excited to hear from those of you who we've corresponded with or whatever, or maybe we haven't. You're just wanting to tell somebody, hey, Keith, I'm coming into the church. Be excited for me. You can better believe I will be excited for you. So thank God for you. Thank God for his church. Welcome to it, my friends. Welcome home. God bless you. And thanks for watching this video.